Hey lovely people, welcome back once again to another exciting episode of Stitches with Collection. I'm Miss Stitches. Today in this video, let me share with you how to make this beautiful designed handmade beaded bag. Before we start, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Let's get started. Materials needed. So you cut your fish line. You make sure it's long enough. You cut it off. We are using 0.60 mm. You make sure you have the ends of the fish line, and then you pick 4 beads. Fix on any side of the fish line. Fix all 4 beads. You can fix on the right side or the left side, and then you cross with the 4th bead using the other side of the fish line. Make sure you have the ends of the fish line. You pull it out. And then you have your first ring done. You still pick 3 beads, fix one on each fish line, fix one on the left fish line, fix one on the right fish line, and then you cross with the 3rd bead using both fish lines. You make sure you have the ends, you pull it out so one side will be longer than the other. And then you have your 2nd ring done. You still go on and pick 3 beads, fix one on each fish line. You cross with the 3rd bead using both fish lines. You make sure you have the ends, pull it out. And then you have your 3rd ring done. So you are going to weave on with the same method till you get 19 rings in all. So we have 18 now, and then with the 19th part on this fish line, you fix 3 beads, cross with the 3rd bead using the other side of the fish line. You pull it out so the fish line will turn, as you can see. And then on this fish line, you fix 3 beads. You cross with the 3rd bead using the other side of the fish line. You pull it out so your fish line will turn completely for you to weave to the other end. So with the right fish line, you go through the next bead here. Then you pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line, cross with the 2nd bead using the right fish line. You pull it out. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. You fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, cross with the 2nd bead using the right fish line. You pull it out, and then you weave on with the same method to the last end. So when you get to the last end with the right fish line, you go through the next bead here. And then on this fish line, you fix 2 beads, cross with the 2nd bead using the other side of the fish line. You pull it out. And then on this fish line, you fix 3 beads, cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line. You pull it out. Then with the right fish line, you go through this bead. And then you fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, cross with the 2nd bead using the right fish line. You pull it out. Then you go through the next bead. So you are going to weave on with the same method till you get to the last end here. And this is what you should get after you are done. As you can see, our mat is forming up. So you are going to weave on till you have 6 steps in all, and I'm doing that off camera. So this is what you should get after you are done. And this is our mat for the first step of the bag. So with a new fish line, you count 1, 2, 3. Then you go through the 3rd and 4th bead with your new fish line. As you can see, you pull it out. So on this fish line, you fix 2 beads, which is my left fish line. And then you cross with the 2nd bead using the right fish line. You make sure you have the ends of the fish line. You pull it out so one side will be longer than the other. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. and then you pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line, cross with the second bead using the right fish line. You pull it out, then you go through the next bead, and then you fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, and then you cross and then pull it out, then you weave on with the same method. When you get to the last end with the right fish line, you go through these 2 beads here, and then you pick 1 bead and cross with both sides of the fish line. You pull it out, then with the right fish line you go through the next bead, and then on this fish line you fix 2 beads, cross with the second bead using the right fish line. You pull it out, then you go through the next bead, fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, cross with the second bead, pull it out, and then you go through the next bead, and then you weave on again. So you are going to weave on with the same method till you get to this end here, and then you do it for the next step again. So you cover the top side of it with the same method. So this is what you should get after you are done, and we have the base nicely made. So we are not done yet. We are going to continue weaving from this side. So with a new fish line, you go through this bead here, this first bead here, and then on this fish line you fix 3 beads, and then you cross with the third bead using the other side of the fish line. Make sure you have the ends of the fish line, you pull it out, then with the right fish line you go through the next bead here, and then you pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line again, cross with the second bead using the right fish line. You pull it out, then this time you go through any bead with the right fish line. So you pick 3 beads, fix 1 on each fish line, fix 1 on the right fish line, fix 1 on the left fish line, as you can see. So you have it like this, and then you cross with the third bead using both fish lines as we started with. Then you pull it out like this. Then now with the right fish line you skip these 2 beads here, and then you go through the third bead here. So you go through the third bead like this, so you have it like this. Then you fix 2 beads on the left fish line, cross with the second bead using the right fish line. You pull it out, make sure it's very tight, and this is what you should get. So this is what we are looking for. This is what you should have at the sides. Then you go through the next bead using the right fish line. Then you fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, cross with the second bead using the right fish line. You pull it out, then you go through the next bead, and then you weave on. So this is what you should get at the side, and then you weave on with the same method. So when you get to this side as well, you skip these 2 beads here, and then you fix 1 bead on each fish line, and then you cross with the third bead using both fish lines as you can see, and then you pull it out like this, and then with the right fish line you go through this bead. So you go through the third bead, and this is what you should get, just like the other side. Then you fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, cross with the second bead using the right fish line, and then you go through the next bead. And then on this fish line you fix 2 beads, cross with the second bead using the other side of the fish line. You pull it out. So this is what you should have. This is what you should get on the sides or the ends of the sides of the bag. So you are going to weave the top side without skipping any bead. So this time you weave on with the same method without skipping any bead. So this is what you should get for the second row. So this time, remember, we didn't skip any bead at all. And I'm going to weave on with the same method 6 times as well, and I'm doing that off camera. So this is what you should get after you are done. Our bag is coming out nicely. So this is how it should look. This is what you should get. This is what you should have. So it should look exactly like this. And now I'm going to design the surface of the bag. So with the new fish line, you go through this first bead. You are going to work around this first bead here. So you can go through any side at all you want. Then you fix 1 bead on each fish line, cross with the 3rd bead using both fish lines, as you can see I'm doing, and then you pull it out. So you have it like this. Then you fix 1 bead on each fish line again, cross with the 3rd bead using both fish lines, pull it out. So you have it like this. And then this time you fix 1 bead on each side of the fish line. Then this time you go through this bead here. So the right fish line will come out from the left side and the left fish line will come out from the right side. So this is what you should have. Now we are going to pass our fish line through very well to secure this part of the work, especially the sides. And this is what you should have after you are done. So you should get this cute box shape. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to weave around this 3rd bead. So after every one, you count 1, 2, 3. And then on the 3rd round, that's where I'm going to weave on with the same method. So as you can see, I'm doing the same thing on this side. And then you pass your fish lines through this bead here. And then you pass your fish lines through to secure this part of the work as well. So this is the second one, and this is how it should look. And then you are going to weave on. So 1, 2, 3. Then you work around here. 1, 2, 3. You work around here. The 1, 2, 3. You work around here. So you should do 3 more, and I'm doing that off camera. So this is how it should look for this row. This is what you should have. And this is what you should have for this row. So we are done with this row. And then going on, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are going to weave on the 5th row as well. So 1, 2, 3. You work on the 3rd one here. So 1, 2, 3, work here. So with the new fish line, you count 1, 2, 3. So this is where I'm going to work around. So you fix your fish line on any side of the 4 parts. You have it like this. And then with the next one too, you count 1, 2, 3. Then the 3rd one, you fix another one. So the intervals between them should be 2, 2, 2. So you count 1, 2, 3. Then you work on the 3rd bead. So this is what you should have, and I have my fish line fixed for that side. So with the top side to 1, 2, 3, 4. You work around the 4th row. So that one too, with a new fish line, you count 1, 2, 3. Then you work around the 3rd bead. So I fix my fish line here, and then another 1, 2, 3. You work around the 3rd part. So that's what we are doing for this round. So after every part, you count 1, 2, 3. Then you work on the 3rd. That is where you fix your, or that's where you make your mini box. So this is what you should do, and I'm doing that off camera. So everywhere I've attached or everywhere I've fixed my fish line, that place is going to have a small box. And then not forgetting the sides as well, we are going to attach, or we are going to weave the box on that side as well. So it should be on the same row. As you can see, I'm showing you here. So it's going to be on the same row. and then you attach them with the same method as well for both sides, and I'm doing that off camera. So this is what you should have after you are done. So this is what I got, and it's looking so beautiful. I'm not done yet, but I think this is looking so beautiful. And you make sure you pass your fish line through it to make it secured. So I have this handle and I made it off camera. I have a video of it. I'll drop that below so you can watch how to make this round beaded bag handle. So now we're going to attach it to this side of the bag. Yeah, so on this lane, so this side, you are leaving 1, 2, 3. So you should leave 3 on each side, then you leave 2 here. Please watch carefully so you wouldn't be confused with it. So you are leaving 7 in the middle, and that's where I'm going to attach a handle. So let me say you leave 5 on each side. So with a new fish line, you go through the sixth bead. You go through the sixth bead here, and then you have it like this. So we have 5 here, and then the fish line is in the sixth bead. So on this fish line, you fix 1 bead, and then with that same fish line where you fix the bead, you go through 1 bead on any side of the handle. So I'm going through this bead. You pull it out, so you have the bead in the middle of both sides, and then you pick 1 bead and cross it both sides of the fish line. You make sure you have the ends of the fish line, you pull it out, and then with the right fish line you go through the next bead, with the left fish line you go through the next 1 bead, and then you pick 1 bead again and cross it both sides of the fish line. You pull it out, then with the right fish line you go through the next bead, with the left fish line you go through the next bead, and then you pick 1 bead again and cross it both sides of the fish line, and then you weave on for the remaining 4 parts. So this is what you should get after you are done. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are going to pass our fish lines through to secure this part of the work. So you need to pass it through very well to make your handle firm. And this is what you should get after you are done. So with this fish line, don't worry about it, I'll use that later. So as you can see, you have the handle nicely attached and firm. So we are going to join this side as well, and that is going to bring the shape out. So with a new fish line, you go through these 2 beads. These 2 beads here, 1, 2. So you should have 3 on the side. Then you go through these 2 beads, 1, 2. So you have it like this, and then you pick 2 beads, fix on the empty side, cross to the second bead, pull it out, and then with the right fish line you go through the next bead here, fix 2 beads again on the left fish line, cross to the second bead, pull it out, then you go through the next bead, the last bead here, and then you fix 2 beads again, cross to the second bead, pull it out, and now we are going to pass the fish line through to secure this part of the work. So this is when I use the fish line I left out to join this side as well. So the same thing I did for the other side, I'm doing it for this side, and I'm doing that off camera. So this is what you should get after you are done, and as you can see, I have both sides nicely made out, and this one side of the bag, and I made the same side off camera, the same size, the same shape, the same design, and we are going to join them together to get the full bag. So with the new fish line, you go through this first bead here, you pull it out. Then on this fish line, you fix one bead, and then with that same fish line where you fix the bead, you go through the first bead on the other side of the bag, you pull it out so you have the bead in the middle of both sides, and then you pick one bead, cross with both sides of the fish line. Make sure you have the ends of the fish line, you pull it out so one side will be longer than the other. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. With the left fish line, you go through the next bead, and then you pick one bead again, cross with both sides of the fish line, you pull it out. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. With the left fish line, you go through the next bead, and then you pick one bead again and cross with both sides of the fish line, you pull it out, and then you weave on with the same method. So as you can see, we have the sides nicely joining up. So this is what you should have while joining the sides of the bag. You are going to weave on to this end, you weave on to this end, and I'm doing that off camera with the same method. And this is what you should get after you are done joining the sides of the bag. And I already passed my fish lines through to make the bag nice and neat. And we are done with our beautiful handmade designed beaded bag, looking so beautiful and cute. And trust me, this bag is very easy to handle, not heavy. You can make this bag in any color of your choice. Feel free to increase the size if you want it more big. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more and more of my tutorials. Make sure to comment and share as well. Stay safe. See you in my next video. Have a nice day and bye.